morning, Internet. Well, we're up bright and early today. We got up at 5:45 a.m. So that we can make a push to the ferry at Port Basque. On our way in, the weather just turned brutal, and it was basically unable to film. It was raining so hard. So the area that we're backtracking today will actually be new material, and hopefully I get some good video on that. And then we'll be taking the ferry back to Sydney, Nova Scotia. Let's get started this morning.
As we leave Stephenville, we're heading east into the rising sun. We took off so early this morning that we're still in the civil twilight time period before actual sunrise. But before we make it to the Trans-Canada Highway, it'll be sunrise. We pass by the Ernest Harmon Air Force Base, which was operated by the U.S. from 1941 to 1966. Some of the buildings and facilities are still in use today. There it is, the sun's just peeking up over the horizon. To the left of us here is the Stephenville Crossing Trestle, a relic of the railroad days. We're heading southwest on the Trans-Canada Highway. We've built in a little extra time this morning to make sure that we'd make it to the ferry on time with a little bit to spare in case we ran into some kind of trouble. We would still have time to troubleshoot. I think what makes Newfoundland specifically and Canada generally such a great destination for adventure motorcycle riding is that so much of their territory is pretty much untouched. You can go into places that are really quite remote easily, and the scenery is just awesome everywhere you look. This is the area when we got off the ferry, when we first got to Newfoundland, where the wind was blowing so hard and it was raining so hard that you really just couldn't get much of a view. And how cool is this as we're rolling in here to the Port of Basque area. It's just beautiful. It's kind of a maze of roads when you get down here. You have to take just the right one to get to the ferry. And so there was a little bit of confusion, but we got it all straightened out and got our way into the ferry terminal. But there's a lot of twists and turns in here before you get there. I saw this and I'm like, holy crap, they're going to hose us down before we can get into the ferry. But they let us pass without the decontamination that they were doing on the pickup trucks. After a short wait, we got on board ship and strapped the bikes down and finally got underway. It'll take us roughly 7 hours to make the transit from Port of Basque to Sydney in Nova Scotia. Although it's a long transit across here, it was as smooth as could be, unlike when we went over, which was very, very rough. It was a pleasant sail, and we were getting in as the sun's getting to the latter part of the afternoon, evening. It's amazing how well they dock these big ships. I don't know if they have bow and stern thrusters on them or whether they have the new pods that they can just swivel to bring them in close to the dock, but it's nothing short of amazing. It's great seamanship on a part of the captain and crew. Well, the day's coming to a close here, and it's just about ready for Gord to do his mat thing. But look after the credits for the awesome sunset that we had.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 12. If you remember from yesterday's adventure, we finished up our day in Stephenville, Newfoundland, here on the very west coast of the island. This morning, we left very early. Sun was just coming up. Beautiful morning just the same, and pretty much had the roads to ourselves. It was just under 2 hours to track down towards the ferry terminal at Basque, Newfoundland, which if you recall from our first run out of Nova Scotia, this is where we landed when we started our Newfoundland adventure. We arrived in plenty of time, very efficient service. Crossing pretty close to 7 hours. Conditions were fantastic today. The weather was great. A little bit of fog, I guess, when we left this morning, but by and large, when we finally made the transit into Sydney Harbor here, it was absolutely perfect. We had a short 20-minute run into our hotel in downtown Sydney again, and we're getting set up for the big adventure tomorrow on the north part of the arm of Cape Breton Island, the Cabot Trail to be specific. So we'll talk about that when it happens. Thanks.
Well, after several days of living off the bike, the stink factor got too bad. And so one of the things you have to do if you're living on the road is do your laundry. So what we usually try to do is find it in a hotel that has guest services. It usually just costs a few bucks to do it. Just the reality of living off a motorcycle. Well, we'll see you. Have a good night. This is our view here at the hotel for this evening with the sun setting. It was a long ferry ride, but it was really smooth this time around instead of rough like the first time. And there's a sailboat out there that's trying to tack upwind a little bit and really light wind, but it makes for a really picturesque scene. Well, that's it for today. I hope you like the video. It's probably a little shorter than some of them have been, but leaving Newfoundland was kind of bittersweet because it's a beautiful area, and it would have been nice to go down some of the back roads there, but with Gord's Harley we weren't able to do that. So tomorrow we head off for the Cabot Trail, and we'll see you tomorrow in our next episode. Take care.